Are you tired of being single? Do you want to know some of the reasons that may explain why you're still single? So keep watching. Hi, my name is Amina. I'm a life coach, and I'm here to help you have some new perspective and answer to some of the questions you might have. So if you have questions and suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Please subscribe, like, and share, and help me spread the word about this channel and help more people. So the last time I made a video about some of the things that may explain why we are still single, and so I gave 5 points, and the first one was our selection process that is not the best. Second is you don't believe that the right person exists for you. Third is you haven't audited your behavior. Fourth, you are too naive, and fifth is you don't go out enough and meet enough new people, which was the reasons that my daughter gave me as a bonus. So today I'm gonna continue with the list, and I have 5 other reasons, and please share yours if you have some of them. So the first reason for this video is we are too desperate. So I know a lot of people don't like this word, but when we get to the point where we reach a specific age that we have in mind, for some people it's 25, for other people it's 35, 40, 30, whatever. And so in your mind you have this rule that says by this time I should be married, and if I'm not married, that means there's a problem. So I think in my case it was, to be honest, I don't really remember, maybe 25. Yeah, I don't really remember. But yeah, for some people for many people we have that threshold in mind. We have that milestone, that's what I meant. And when we reach that point and we're still not married, we're like, okay, something's wrong with me, and we start to get desperate. That's what I mean. So we want to have the baby. For those who want babies, we want to get married by that time, and so and you get the pressure from other people around you, maybe your mother, your brothers and sisters, or your friends, cousins, whatever, your grandma, grandpas, and everybody's telling you, oh, you're too old now, you need to find somebody. And so you get to the point of desperation, and you absolutely want to find the right person, and at some point you don't even care, as long as the man is presentable, the man looks good, kind of, even if you're not attracted to him. I know personally a person who settled for somebody she was not really attracted to. They had a baby, they got married, but I'm not sure if she's really happy. But she reached that age, and even at some point she was pressuring me to do the same thing, but I always said no, because you're gonna spend 50 years with somebody. That person better be, what you want, not a random guy you chose somewhere just because you were desperate. And so that's what I mean by desperate. When we are desperate, we jump on anybody that is available, that can give your baby a ring, that can satisfy your family. So we don't vet that person. We just go ahead and jump with our 2 feet, and that's it. And now we crash. We end up in unhappy marriages, and so on and so forth. So desperation is not a good option. Yes, you can eventually get married, but are you going to be happy? I'm not sure about that. So for me, I prefer to wait and find at least somebody I really want to be with and then move forward. But I am not going to be desperate and chose whoever's available just because I'm getting older. No. So reason number 2, you have low standards. If we take the example of the desperate woman, so at some point you're so desperate that you don't even care about your standards. So that's one way of saying it. But you also have other women who have low self-esteem or who were never taught to have standards, so they don't know what to expect. And so anybody that comes, somebody who is not a right fit for her, somebody who's gonna do wrong things to her, she's just gonna accept it just because she has feelings and because she wants to be with someone, and because she hasn't defined her standards, or her standards are too low. So you have low standards and you get desperate and you don't pay attention to the person that comes around. They do stuff that you don't like, but you want to be subtle, you want to have somebody, so it doesn't really matter. Or if you have a low self-esteem, you think that you cannot find better, you don't deserve better, so you're just gonna stick with that person and they're gonna continue to do you wrong, and you don't think you can find better, so you just stay here and you just keep moving. And at some point the relationship doesn't work and you end up single again. Same thing for the desperate woman who lowers her standards and eventually things don't work for her and she has to divorce, or to some extent we can, even if she stays in the marriage, she's gonna be single in the marriage because she's not going to be happy. So it ends up being the same thing. Reason number 3, and this is something that I consider very important, is we ignore our intuition. I remember a story with a guy that I met online, and something in me was telling me, oh, no, and I was scared, but I couldn't understand why. And at the end of the day, turned out the guy was a scammer and he was a catfish. But my intuition told me, and I didn't listen. So I felt something was there. I was trying to get it, but I thought it was just me because I was afraid to be in a new relationship, so I confused it with fear, but it was my intuition telling me, no, don't go in that direction. And for the women on the online dating sites, be careful with that, because there are a lot of scammers and catfish, and they use other people pictures. So that was, I had a case, but thanks to my intuition and I really paid attention to the details. I almost fell for it, but I was also looking, I in my head, I couldn't believe it until I would see the guy in real life. So that's what saved me. I had hope, but at the same time, in my mind, I was thinking, maybe it's not, so yeah. So I was still careful. I wanted to believe in it, but I was also careful. So that's what saved me in this situation. And when I say you end up being single because you don't listen to your intuition, it's usually because you're gonna go with the wrong person. And in the meantime, the right person can come your way, but because you are occupied with somebody, with the wrong person, you miss out on the right person. So when you don't listen to your intuition, you go to the wrong path, and because you're not on the right path, you miss out on the right person. So before we go to the fourth reason, I want to let you know that I have a coaching, one-on-one coaching practice. So if you want to work with me, you can reach out to me through my website. So the link will be in the description box. I also have a blog where I talk about all kinds of subjects like this one, but it's different. So if you like to read, give it a go, and thank you in advance. The fourth reason is you don't really want to find somebody. So subconsciously, we can claim we want something, but at the end of the day, we don't really want it. And I remember it was the case for me at some point. And so I was always going to the wrong person. I was choosing the wrong person because I subconsciously knew that he wasn't the right guy, and so I was kind of sabotaging my relationship because I was claiming I wanted someone, but I was always going to the wrong guy, and I knew that this one would make things work, so I would eventually end up being single. And so that means I actually didn't really want to have somebody because I was going to the wrong person that would, destroy everything. And so ask yourself, do you really want to be with somebody? Are you scared? And when I say that, it's not that you really want to be alone. It's more like you're afraid to be with somebody, so you sabotage your situation by going to the wrong guys. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, ask yourself really, really deeply, do you really want to be with somebody? And I believe the answer is yes, but you need to continue and ask yourself, okay, am I afraid to be with somebody? Am I trying to sabotage my future happiness because I believe I don't deserve it, or maybe because I believe I don't, some people won't be happy for me, or I will move ahead and leave my friends, my single friends alone, and I will be by myself because I won't be single anymore. There are all kinds of reasons why you can sabotage your relationship, even if you really want to be with somebody. It's just that subconsciously you want it, but at the same time you're afraid of the consequences, so you sabotage the thing and you go to the wrong people for that. So fifth and last reason is it's not the right time for you. And I'm sure it has happened to me. And I believe it's for two reasons mainly, probably more. So it's not the right time because you have things you need to accomplish. And it's not the right time because you're not healed. I've discovered that I was really wounded at some point, so I met somebody that I was really we really had a connection together, but I also know that that person was wounded. They had trauma, childhood trauma, and it was the case for me too, but I wasn't aware of that. And so for us to be together at that time, it wouldn't work. And maybe it would end up turn out really bad. So it wasn't the right time. And I've heard many women say that they wanted to be with somebody, but they also had something they needed to accomplish. They wanted to write a book, they wanted to create a business, they wanted to find a job, they wanted to focus on their studies, they wanted to, all kinds of reasons. So ask yourself, is it the right time for you? Are you healed? Do you need to do more work and get ready to embrace your future husband? Because you don't want to be wounded and then that guy comes to your life and then you hurt him because you're wounded. So ask yourself that and do your inventory and make sure everything is good on your side. And if you have to wait because it's not the right time, let's just be patient, because if we force, we're gonna end up with the wrong person. And I believe it's also my case. Many of the points I can relate to them, and I know a lot of you will feel the same way. So to recap, we talked about 5 reasons this time. So the first one is we have low standard. No, the first one is we are too desperate. Second one is we have low standard. The third one is we ignored our intuition. The fourth one is we don't really want to find somebody. And the fifth reason is it's not the right time. So when hearing all those reasons, do you find yourself in one of them? When you do your inventory, was one of those points or maybe many jumped to your face and it's like, oh, it's obvious, it's what happened? If that's the case, so you need to correct whatever's happening. So if you are too desperate, you need to slow down and check your behavior. Blah blah blah. So that's it for today. I would ask you to subscribe, like, and share if you find my videos helpful. If you have questions and suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. The question of the day is, like I said, do you find yourself in one of those reasons? And if so, what can you do to change that? What can you do to change your future? So in the meantime, I wish you a good week and I will see you next time. Bye. The story is just gonna...
Amina, fais vite ton truc. Faut pas que la vidéo soit trop longue, sinon après je peux pas récupérer. Fais vite.
Tiens, que je sais même pas comment je vais faire pour récupérer l'autre là.
Vite, 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 vite. Fais vite, ça fait beaucoup de bruit tout ce que tu fais là, je t'entends ici. Éteins la lumière. Va vite dans la chambre. Tu as fermé la porte?